Hi guys, how you doing? As I said, I would put another video up, and that's what That's what I'm doing. A little chilly today. Got my hair on without my beanie. Uh, Gets a little chilly, so I call my beanies my hair. So anyway, um, in the last video, I mentioned, on my first video, I mentioned about living your life. And that is, I think, one of the key things that has not been realistically taught to men over a very long period of time, is the key to living your life. Now, the interesting thing is there's this thing out there called a feminist movement, which is that's a whole nother video series actually, and the degradation that has caused in society. But one of the things that the feminist movement actually brought to the forefront for women was, supposedly going and living your own life. The majority of women haven't lived their own lives that are feminists. But, like I said, that's another video series for a whole nother time. But men have been taught to, especially over the last 30, 40 years, ever since the feminist movement started in the 60s, men have been taught to basically kowtow and cower down to women's needs. And what's happened with that is men have forgotten about their own needs and their own desires. And we're talking about the things that men really like to do. Okay? It's really pretty interesting. I've seen over the years a slow but sure movement of young males actually getting back into, blue collar work. And because I build hot rods, custom cars, I've built race cars. I'll talk more about that some other time. But how do you go about living or starting to live your own life? I'm going to direct this more to the younger generation of males that might be out there kind of scratching their heads, wondering what to do and where to go in life. And I'm going to utilize my own personal experience, what I personally did. And I believe that every young man should do this, and maybe there'll be some pointers in here for some of you older guys who are, in situations that aren't so wonderful. The key thing that you have to do is you have to become good at one thing. Just one thing. Not a whole bunch of stuff, just one thing. And the thing is, that takes time. In the current job market in the United States right now, it's only roughly around 20 to 30% of the jobs out there. Actually, I think it's more like 20% of the jobs that are out there today require that you have to have a degree. Okay, so what does that leave out there? There's still all those jobs that need to be performed, okay, from being welders, steel workers, factory workers, construction workers, all that sort of stuff. Now, the majority of those jobs are actually being filled today by people that come into this country, because the majority of the people outside of the United States, people like myself, we got taught basically manual labor. I mean, that was it in a nutshell. And I enjoyed what I did. I started out in the auto body repair industry. And I realized at 16 years of age, 17 years of age, that I had to become the best that I could possibly be at what I did, or what I was doing at that time. And it was just auto body repair work. Okay? Now, by putting all my effort into becoming the best that I could possibly be. I became, in New Zealand, I became the most highly qualified auto body repairer by the age of 21. I was one of 3 guys that were the first guys to pass their business and management exams, you know, all that sort of stuff. And I still hadn't finished my apprenticeship. Now, the interesting thing is what that did is it set me in good stead for when I left New Zealand. When I got on a plane, I was about 21 and a half years of age. I got on a plane and I flew to Los Angeles. I had no clue what I was going to get into. But what I was able to do was I was able to start working for an auto body repairer. Now, admittedly, in 1989, it's fine, I have no problem saying this, but I was an illegal immigrant to the country, you know, and it was 1989. But I was able to get work. Now, I've been through Germany, Austria, I've lived and worked in Australia, I've been through Russia, the Ukraine, and even when I was in the Ukraine, I went and checked out a couple of body shops in Odessa because I was like, you know, this is actually a pretty cool part of the world. It'd be interesting to potentially stay here for a little while. And that's the key thing that you have to have, first and foremost. You have to have some form of skill set. And going to frickin' university and getting some sort of diploma or degree in modern art or, you know, political science or something like that, it's not going to help you. It's not. It just isn't going to help you. You need to get working. School is only there for a specific group of people. They're called academics. Now, if you're in your garage, your dad's garage or your buddy's shop or a friend's shop, and you're banging away on a car, you're trying to wrench on a car, you might not have too much of an idea what you're doing, but you're giving it a shot, and that's what counts. Well, if that's what you're doing, build on that, okay? And, you know, there are schools out there that you can go to that give you the fundamental basics on how to learn, okay? YOTEX 1. It gets you a foot in the door, okay? There's a young chap that I worked with back in 2007, and we were building the petite and main streamliner. Not too many people most probably know about it, but it's basically the original petite main streamliner that was rebuilt back in 2007. This young kid had just gotten back from YOTEC, and he came and worked with us, okay? Now, he got a little butthurt because he wasn't treated, you know, as an equal, but he was a greenhorn, he was a newbie. But that kid today is an incredibly talented fabricator. He's stuck with the program, he's got his own shop, he's got his own business, he's got a phenomenal reputation. He actually pretty much built the entire chassis on top of a whole bunch of other stuff for the current new petite main streamliner. But that basically took him 8 years to get to that point, and that's the key thing. If you're going to become good at something, you have to realize it's going to take time, okay? But that if you want to be a male that's in charge of your own life and going your own way, especially a young male, you have to become good at just one thing. Then you can build on it. I became a very well qualified auto body repairer from New Zealand. I've since been an IndyCar mechanic. I have built cars that have ran at Le Mans and the FIA World GT Series. I've built custom cars, hot rods, race cars. I've helped build, as I said, the original petite main streamliner that became the fastest piston-driven vehicle in the world. Okay, my welding has gone 462 mile an hour. And I tell you what, that makes your butthole pucker. You're like, when you see that happen. But my point is once you become good at one thing, then you have the building blocks to actually build your life on from there. And you just got to get going. That's all there is to it. Just take that initial step forward, okay? Yeah, you might be stacking shelves at Walmart, okay, or stacking shelves at, I don't know, Home Depot, or who knows what you're doing. But the key thing is you just got to start. You got to put your feet out there and get going. Well, I'm going to close with one final thought, and this is just another example of just taking that leap of faith, just going for it. In '94, the winter of '94, I was sitting on the shitter at Barry Jackson Toyota in my work overalls. I was covered in Bondo dust because I was working in their auto body shop. I was actually working on the frame machine, and I was just filthy, cold. It was miserable. It really was. It was just like, oh my God. I'll never forget it, because I literally had this epiphany. I was like, I could literally be working on an IndyCar team. Instead of working in this shithole, I could actually be an IndyCar mechanic because of what I know and what I've already done. Less than a year later, I was on a plane back to the United States, and a year and a half later, I was working for an IndyCar team. It's God's honest truth. So if one guy can fly all the way from New Zealand to the United States and get some sort of job, some high-end job like that, then some young dude like yourself in America can do the exact same thing. You've just got to start. You got to keep your eye on the ball, your eye on the target, and just go for it. And love what you're doing, no matter what it is. You have to love it. It has to just about feel like you're not even working. That is the ultimate part about living your own life and going your own way and doing your own thing. You'll love it and you'll never regret it. Trust me on that one. I am living proof of literally going my own way. So there's going to be a lot more to share, because even though I went my own way from a young age, I have made some mistakes, and I want to share those mistakes with you also, so you don't make those mistakes, because that's what life is about passing on the knowledge and the wisdom that you have learned to a new generation. So peace out, guys. There will be more videos coming.